Garlic is one of the easiest plants to grow in your garden and one of the most satisfying to harvest. But there's a lot more to garlic than that simple bulb that you buy at the supermarket. There are dozens and dozens of varieties to choose from with incredible flavors. Join me today as I help you choose the best garlic for your garden. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I've been growing garlic for years. When I first started, I thought all garlic would taste the same. I've lived all over the United States, and whatever supermarket I go into, the garlic always tastes the same. Well, there's a reason for that, because in the United States, most of the garlic comes from Gilroy, California, where they grow California white. Well, California white garlic tends to be relatively mild in flavor. And because it's all processed in Gilroy, California, whether it was crushed garlic or minced garlic or the fresh garlic bulbs, it all tasted the same. It wasn't until I started growing my own garlic, varieties like Siberian and Carpathian and Chesnok Red, that I realized, man, I was missing out. Growing your own garlic can give you taste sensations that you never knew possible. When we choose our garlic, it all comes down to two basic types of garlic: soft-neck varieties and hard-neck varieties. Where you live and how you plan to use your garlic will help in deciding which variety to choose. Generally, the soft-neck varieties are better for gardeners that live in warmer regions that do not have harsh winters. The soft-neck varieties of garlic are called soft-neck because the leaves will grow and remain soft when they dry. So they braid together very well. Those braided garlics that you see in Italian restaurants are almost always soft-neck varieties. They store for long periods of time, which is one reason why the soft-neck varieties are what are sold in the grocery stores. And while they have a wide range of flavors, they do tend to be a little bit milder for the most popular varieties that you'll choose. The actual bulb of garlic tends to have a lot of the individual cloves, and the cloves inside that bulb will vary in size. Hardneck garlic is called hardneck because it tends to have a central shoot that stays hard after those leaves have dried. They tend to be better for those of us that have harsher winter conditions. They do well when the ground freezes, when the winter is long and cold. There is a great variety of hardneck varieties, and they tend to be spicier and more colorful than those soft-neck varieties. The individual bulbs will have bigger but fewer cloves than the soft-neck varieties. So if you want nice big cloves of garlic for cooking or for using in salads, you might want to opt for the hardneck versus the softneck. These are two of the bulbs that I recently harvested from the garlic that I planted last year. This, you can see, has a very soft neck. When it's dry, it's a soft neck variety. This is sturdy. This is the hard neck variety. When I break open these bulbs, you can see that the soft neck variety has a lot of individual cloves. Some of them are big on the outside, some are small on the inside. This hardneck variety is a little bit harder initially, but once I get into it, all of these cloves are pretty much the same size. The bulbs were similar in size, but this soft neck variety gave me 17 individual cloves in many different sizes. The Hardneck variety only gave me 6 cloves, but they're almost identical. There are 2 basic types of softneck garlic varieties. The first being Artichoke and the second being Silverskin. Within the Artichoke category, I've grown Inchelium Red. That's a variety I like. Within the Silverskin, well, that's where you're going to find your Gilroy varieties, like the California Late White. You have many more options when it comes to the Hardneck garlics. The first being Porcelain, and then you have Rocambole, and then Purple Stripe, and Glazed Purple Stripe, and Marbeled Purple Stripe. Within the Porcelain, I really like the variety Music. Within the Rocambole, I like Spanish Roja. For the Purple Stripe garlics, I really like the Chesnok Red. I've grown that for years. And the Marbled Purple Stripe has Siberian, which is a really spicy, tasty variety that I like to grow. And it doesn't stop there. There are intermediate varieties that fall between softneck and hardneck. They're often referred to as weakly bolting because they'll grow like a softneck garlic. But if they're stressed by temperatures and weather, then they might send up that central hard stalk. These garlics fall into 3 basic categories: Turban, Asiatic, and Creole. And particularly the Asiatic and the Creole tend to be good varieties if you have warm winters. Now, you may have also heard of elephant garlic. Now, elephant garlic isn't technically garlic. It's actually in the leek family, but it does have a very mild garlic flavor and very big cloves. They tend to do better in areas with longer growing seasons so that those bulbs can fully develop. About now, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed with 10 different types of garlic to choose from, and then you throw in elephant garlic as well. I highly recommend seeking out your local nursery where you will often buy the garlic to find out more about what will do well in your area. The varieties I've already mentioned do well in my Zone 5B garden, and they've been very productive, and I really like the flavors of all the garlic that I continue to grow. And that's a big part of growing garlic, continuing to grow it, because you can save the bulbs and then plant the cloves and keep growing the varieties that you like. When it comes to planting, you should choose the biggest cloves to give you the biggest bulbs. A clove like this one, quite big, should give me a big bulb. A clove like this, quite small, will still give me a bulb, but it will be noticeably smaller at the end of the season. You don't have to think as much about planting the cloves with the hardneck varieties because they do tend to be all about the same size. However, you'll need to grow many more hardneck bulbs to give you the same amount of cloves. So if you want to grow a lot of free garlic in the future because you're going to save your garlic bulbs, you might want to opt for the softneck varieties because you'll have many more cloves to choose from. I think it ultimately washes out because the way I use my softneck garlic is I will save the bigger cloves for planting, and then I use the smaller cloves in the kitchen for cooking. As to the hardneck varieties, I'll save enough of the cloves so that I can plant more in the following year, and then whatever's left over is what I'll use in the kitchen. Because every garden is unique, the general guidelines that softneck varieties are better for warm winter areas and hardneck varieties are better for cold winter areas, may not necessarily match with your specific garden, because there are softneck varieties that can do well in very cold regions, and there are hardneck varieties that can do well in very warm regions. It comes down to what you want and what you decide to do. I suggest growing 4, 5, maybe even 6 different varieties when you decide you want a garlic garden. Start with some of those varieties that someone like I would recommend, or that your local gardening experts would recommend, and then see how they do in your garden. Over the years, I think I've grown between 20, maybe even 25 different varieties of garlic. Many of those I no longer grow. I grow the ones that do well, the ones that give me a good harvest with nice big cloves that I can plant again. That's the way I choose my garlic, by choosing something first, seeing if it works, and then choosing it every year after, because I've found something that works. To learn more about how to grow garlic and to see more about the varieties that I like, watch one of these videos next. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.